This is so bitter. Oh my gosh. Sourdough. But not yet.
Well, that would be fucking terrifying.
It's like such bullshit. And like, yeah, and like my boyfriend.
Paul from Mendoza. He struggled all his life with the celebrity status thrust upon him as the world's youngest person.
I'm trying to cut this bread. You're doing really well. I promise you.
Okay, you can choose a piece because I cut it.
Thank you. Just
Wait, I'm gonna try to like finesse it.
I think the tape, dude. I really like towards the end of the year, like maybe we can just like, yeah, like we can get.
Should I do this one as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Rollers are fun.
Whether she was doing that or how bizarrely large her right hand was in comparison to her left.
Stung by a bee. That was slight swelling. I feel like these are the sort of images you get at like the bottom of websites, terrible adverts.
I don't know what rank that lady is. Like 30, half an hour that I thought were nice. Oh, you're welcome.
Here. Oh, your face is all wet now.
This is it's like sweat.
That way.
So
Colin,
and so
Colin, she'll turn.
Yeah. It's Game of Thrones.
So once proceeded, can I start yelling? Are we there yet? Cool.
Play this record as frequently as possible.